Each match could be the final chapter for Philippe Clement at Rangers. And with that said, Chris Sutton sends a message to Rangers fans as Philippe Clement battles the sack. We'll also cover Barry Ferguson's take on the risks for Rangers in his latest verdict on Philippe Clement's sacking. Clement forces an embarrassing admission, and we have important updates. Derek McInnis to Rangers, the right man at the right time. We're already talking about attacking signings since our forwards have been abysmal. Rangers have been given a second chance as a £4.5 million huge talent opens doors to a January move. But first, to get daily Rangers news at your fingertips, just hit the notification bell. Let's get into the news. We are the people. Well, Chris Sutton's at it again, isn't he? He's had a wee go at Rangers fans, saying we should expect better than Clement's so-called waffling after matches. According to Sutton, it's the same old tune, excuses from the gaffer while we're slipping further behind. He's gone as far as to compare Clement to Pedro Caixinha and Michael Beale, two managers most Rangers fans would rather forget. Here we are, sitting 9 points behind Celtic, and that last slip-up against Aberdeen's only piled on the pressure. Now, if we were top of the league and bossing games, Clement's post-match chatter might just sound like quirky banter, something you chuckle at in the pub. But with things the way they are, it's hardly inspiring, is it? Sutton's right on one thing at least. Rangers fans deserve better than just explanations and moral victories. We want to see progress, real progress, not just someone telling us what went wrong. It's all a bit too familiar, isn't it? Clement's sounding more like he's got 1 foot out the door than a solid plan to turn things around. Some reckon he's lost the dressing room, or that he's running out of ideas and the players aren't exactly leaping to his defense either. Hardly the picture of a manager who's got his finger on the pulse. So, here's one for you, mate. Do you think it's time for Clement to pack his bags, or should he be given a bit more time to try and sort this mess out? Barry Ferguson's come out with a classic bit of level-headed thinking here, warning that if Rangers sack Philippe Clement, we're just risking a repeat of the same old cycle we've been stuck in. He's looking back to when Giovanni van Bronckhorst was shown the door, saying we're on a path to the same outcome if we keep the revolving door spinning at Rangers. And let's be honest, he's got a point. How many times can you rip up a squad, bring in a new manager, and just expect everything to fall into place? Ferguson reckons Clement's squad needs more than a few months to find its footing, but the results on the pitch haven't exactly been setting the world alight, have they? We're 9 points adrift, trailing Celtic and Aberdeen, and folk are running out of patience. But Ferguson's suggesting the real problem might be upstairs in the Rangers boardroom. The off-field mess could make you think twice about booting Clement out just yet, especially when there's no faith the board will even pick the right replacement. Then there's the issue of the money. We're bleeding cash, left, right, and center, and committing transfer fees for players handpicked by Clement. Sacking him now would mean starting over with another gaffer and probably watching half the squad get the axe again. It's a costly mess that doesn't exactly inspire confidence, does it? So here's a question that's bound to get folk talking. Are we better off sticking with Clement, warts and all? Or does the club need a full-on clear-out from the boardroom to the bench? Gary Keon's gone in hard on Philippe Clement, hasn't he? He's confessed he's a bit embarrassed, thinking Clement was the calm voice of sanity we needed. But after watching Clement's recent antics, Keon says he's starting to feel more like a Jekyll and Hyde character, confusing and winding up the fans rather than bringing them any real confidence. Now, this gaslighting bit, it's got people riled up. Keon reckons Clement is either deliberately pulling the wool over our eyes or just doesn't get what Rangers is all about. And when a manager can't grasp the heart of the club, well, it doesn't sit right, does it? He's gone from cool-headed new boss to someone spouting baffling excuses, which doesn't exactly fill you with hope, especially after the loss to Aberdeen. A win against Aberdeen was a must if we wanted to stay anywhere close to Celtic, but instead we got a performance flatter than a pint left out overnight. Sure, Clements had his moments with a couple of decent wins here and there, but they've not been enough to convince anyone he's got a real plan for the long haul. The fans are losing patience, and it's no wonder Keon's column is echoing what so many are thinking, that Clements' time could be up before long. So here's one to get everyone talking. Do you reckon Clements actually the right fit for Rangers, or has he been bluffing us all along? Here we go, Derek McInnis being talked up as the man to rescue Rangers from this season's mess. Apparently, McInnis is ticking a lot of boxes for the Rangers board thanks to what he's managed with Kilmarnock on a shoestring budget. The board's supposedly watching closely, and with the way Clements running things, McInnis might be closer than ever to getting that call. Let's not forget, McInnis turned us down a few years back when he was at Aberdeen, but now with Rangers struggling and the fans growing impatient, he might just be more open to the role. He's no stranger to the club either. Spent 5 solid years at Rangers as a player in the 90s. A few folk might grumble that he's not the flashiest option, but sometimes flashy isn't what you need, especially when we're trailing 9 points behind both Aberdeen and Celtic and needing a steady pair of hands to sort out the basics. McInnis even had a bit of a statement win over Clements Rangers earlier in the season. It's the sort of gritty, results-focused style that's won him respect in the league and is exactly what's lacking at Rangers at the moment. While Kilmarnock may only be in 6th place, they're certainly punching above their weight, and that kind of resilience could be invaluable right now. So here's one for you. Do you think Derek McInnis is the steady manager Rangers need, or would hiring him just be settling for mediocrity? It looks like Rangers might have another chance to go after Egyptian winger Ibrahim Adell come January, but you have to wonder if he's what we actually need right now. Apparently, the club was in talks to bring him over this past summer, but the whole thing fell apart over a financial disagreement. £4.5 million wasn't going to cut it for Pyramids FC. Now, though, with Adell holding out for a European move, there's hope the deal might be back on the table. But here's the thing. We're already loaded with players in his position. We've got Nedim Badrami, who's shown flashes of serious talent on the left. Remember that brilliant solo goal he bagged in the loss to Aberdeen? It was one of the few sparks of life we saw that day. And let's not forget Tom Lawrence, who's more than capable of playing out wide, and Oscar Cortez, who's currently sidelined but has plenty of potential. Throw in young talents like Hamza and Jefte, who are finding their feet on the left flank, and we're actually not short in that department. Sure, Adell's got talent, no doubt about it. Pyramids FC's director calls him a huge talent for Egyptian football, and his stats back it up, with a couple of goals in just 3 matches. But at £4.5 million for another left winger, it feels like a luxury, especially when the squad has plenty of other gaps that need filling before we shell out big on a position we're already covering fairly well. So here's the question for you. Should Rangers spend big on Adell in January, or would that money be better used strengthening weaker spots in the team? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Rangers, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.